type of record.
Let's talk more about you. How about the game you're going to be calling this week? I know you love it.
It's my favorite subject.
I know you love these NFC East games. They bring back so many memories.
Do they?
And you get to go back home this weekend. You're calling Washington and Philadelphia. Washington just kind of vomited all over themselves, losing at the Giants 14-7.
By the way, did you hear Jonathan Allen?
He's, to paraphrase, tired of this crap.
Yeah.
And
I am sick of this shit.
Okay, you go ahead.
I am like, man, I have done nothing but lose since I got here, and I am sick of this shit. Do you know who I asked to speak with is to the PR people?
Jonathan Allen?
I did. Do you know what I was denied?
Jonathan Allen. They just soon like that to go away.
Hey, old PR. Well, you know, things aren't going really well right now in Washington, and I can tell you why, man. They can't get out of their own way on the offensive side of the football. Do you know? I read this, and they send us articles and stuff, and I've watched a bunch of film. I've watched the last couple of weeks, and. So anyhow, they send us a bunch of they send us articles every week. So every day you get a stack of articles to read. You know how many sacks Washington has given up? If this article was correct, do you know how many sacks? I haven't researched it, but how many sacks Washington has given up on the season right now? So they're 6 games in, right? Or are they 7 games in? 7 games in. How many sacks would you guess that Washington has given up? Is it on there? Is it on your little sheet there that I gave you?
I do not see it.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
He's been sacked. Sam Howell has been sacked 40 times. I found it.
In 7 games.
7 games.
40 times.
It's almost 6 sacks per game, Mark.
40 freaking times. Mike, I was watching the film, and I wanted to be sick for Sam Howell. And is there a couple of times?
Yeah, because wait a minute. Let me just say this. Normally, whenever you see a high sack total, you say there are a lot of fingerprints on those sacks, that it's not just simply a bad offensive line.
Normally, yes.
In this case?
I would agree with you. In this case, they are awful. They cannot pick up a blitz. They cannot snap a game off. It is unreal. They should dress up for Halloween as vampires, because I ain't never seen so many neck-sucking bloodsuckers that don't see anything going on around them. It's like, oh, that's my guy? Here it is, Mike. That's my guy? Oh! You're right on it. I'm like, God, pull your head out and actually look for the twister. Pay attention to the blitzer. Oh, it's as bad as it gets. It is that bad. They can't run it. They can't throw it. They didn't separate from man to man. When you play the Giants, Wink Martindale is their defensive coordinator. Wink Martindale blitzed 59% of the time in their game that they lost 14-7 against a team in the Giants that's setting football back by a decade, 2 decades. They're that bad. And they couldn't pick up a blitz. They couldn't shake loose from man-to-man coverage. They couldn't do anything. As a matter of fact, I think they had 46 total yards in the first half. They had 8 drives in the first half. Only one of the 8 drives had 4 or more plays. So they were 7. They were 6 or 7 3 and outs, and they had maybe 2 drives that had 4 plays. They converted a first down and then went 3 and out. So. But they didn't have a drive that constituted more than 4 plays. Sam Howell, after taking 5 sacks in the first half, had 15 total yards passing in the first half. I mean, Mike, it is unbelievable. And now you're facing a Philly team. Whatever the deepest shade of blue collar is, that's exactly what they are, man. They will bludgeon you, even though they play entirely out of shotgun. Their group up front is big and strong, and they will bludgeon you, and they do a good job of designing plays for their tight ends, for their wide receivers, and getting guys quickly into space with the ball in their hands.
Early rematch game, because it was a month ago that these two teams played in Philly. Philly lost that game. Washington. Philly won that game.
Overtime.
34-31 in overtime. So with the rematch just a month later, who does that benefit? Does it benefit Philadelphia in that, okay, Washington got our attention in this game and we were lucky to win, or does it favor Washington because some of those struggles aside, they can feel pretty confident about how they played in Philly?
Based on the film I've watched of their last 2 games, they didn't do anything against Atlanta and found a way to win a game because the Atlanta quarterback in Ritter threw 3 picks. They had I think it was a punt return right there, like all the way down. Like they had 3 scoring. They had, was it 3 or 4 scoring drives? 3 scoring drives, Mike. 3 touchdown drives that netted, I believe, 90 total yards of offense in 3 scoring drives. So, I mean, like Washington didn't do jack in that game. They came away. They were fortunate that Atlanta played so poorly. So they didn't do really jack in that game offensively. The game against the Giants was as bad as I've ever seen. And I would just based on, and then you go back to Chicago on that Thursday night game. They were horrible in Chicago. So, yeah, there's something afoot in Washington right now. It stinks.
So all you Eagle and Commander fans, get used to this face because you're going to be seeing him on Sunday calling your game. The Battle of New York or the Battle of New Jersey, Giants and Jets. I know the Giants aren't very good, but they seem to at least have a little bit of heartbeat there. You know, they go up to Buffalo, play Buffalo tough, turn around, beat Washington. There's nothing aesthetically pleasing about the Giants, but they seem to have some guts, right?
Right. Yeah. Well,
that counts for something.
Yeah, there's no question it does. They still have Barkley. Tyrod Taylor started at quarterback, actually played decent against Washington. I don't know where Daniel Jones is. They're probably telling Daniel Jones, take your time. Take your time. We're not in a hurry to get you back. Just take your time.
Are they better with Tyrod Taylor?
They are better when they're using their quarterback to extend plays and run. Tyrod he's a drop back guy. He's not that guy either. But I think they're better when Daniel Jones is operating as I'm not going to call him a run first guy, but when they're more balanced with their running game, with their quarterback run game, and then all the play action stuff that comes off their quarterback run game. So I would tell you that I think they're better there. But yeah, like what you're going to get out of their defense. Their defense, the defensive line, they've got really good players. And the kind of aggressiveness you're going to get from Wink Martindale. I mean, at the end of the day, that dude is bringing heat. He's bringing pressure. And his philosophy on defense is we're going to bring that heat. We're going to bring that pressure. We're going to put you under duress. And we believe that we'll make more plays than you'll make. You may make 4 big plays on us or 5 big plays, but we're going to make 8 on you. And in the wash, we're going to come out on top. And that's, his philosophical approach. Now, you got to have some, from a complimentary standpoint, you got to have an offense that can make some plays because otherwise, that's a recipe for disaster. But that's the way he plays. They'll play hard, but when you look at what the Jets are doing, what the Jets have done defensively, Mike, the Jets are, they're big time. They hold down big time opponents offensively. They crush people. And, that's kind of who they are and the way they're built right now. And there's still that glimmer of hope that Aaron Rodgers is going to, knight in shining armor, and come, galloping in on his white steed, right? And then he'll be, he'll take off the so what do you call that? The shining armor. Take off the helmet. He'll have the jousting pole.
Glorious hair.
Yeah.
Blowing in the breeze.
Right. And he'll just look.
But still, you're basing this on Aaron Rodgers making some kind of miracle return. Zach Wilson, no interceptions in 3 of his last 4 starts, 70% completion percentage in 2 of his last 3 starts. Seems to be a quiet building optimism that the Jets, especially with some of the weaknesses shown by the Bills and maybe even the Dolphins, that the Jets can still be a playoff team with Zach Wilson.
I don't think there's any question. I mean, when you run the ball the way they run the ball, Breece Hall's averaging 6.5 yards per carry. They run the ball. They've got young receivers that I think are really good, and he's being judicious with the football. And bottom line for the Jets, if you're managing that football team and you're managing Zach Wilson, you're just saying, hey, man, we're going to run the ball. We're going to set up some easy one-on-one throws for you, some easy access throws, because you know we're going to get a bunch of single high stuff, right? So we're going to have access to the outside. So the way I always think about it, and the way it was always told to me, is you get that single high, middle of the field, closed safety, right? Means you're getting access one-on-one to the outside. That's basically what it means, right? Any vertical, whether you're playing cover 3 or cover 1, any vertical release on the outside is man-to-man, becomes man-to-man. So you're having man-to-man or access. So if, for instance, if a corner is 8 yards off, you can just run a little, a hitch, or you can run a, whatever you want to, thunder, whatever you call it, where you drive a guy off and come back at 8 and catch the ball. You got access out there. So, you're making it simple. The way you run the ball, you're making it simple for your quarterback. And then on top of that, and there's nothing wrong with that, there's nothing wrong with managing a quarterback, a young quarterback, and giving him simple, easy reads and simple throws. On top of all of that, Mike, they're going to play great defense. So the bottom line, you say, hey, man, when in doubt, throw it out of bounds, punt, and let your defense win this game. And that's how they're constructed. And I'm telling you, I'm with Robert Saleh. I believe they got a chance to be a playoff team even with Zach Wilson. The way they're playing right now, and oh, by the way the Bills are scuffling, and let's face it, Miami's
They haven't beaten anybody.
Right. Of all their wins, none of them against the teams. What you came up with the other day?
8-30? Something like
I think
that?
it was 8. It was 5 and 25, 8 and 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. Hey, for everybody involved in the Stinky Truth, we thank you so much. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more content just like this. If you want to see more of our videos, you can also be sure to check out our playlist. Let us know exactly what you think in the comments below. We appreciate you guys so much for being a part of that.
Don't forget to follow us on social media to stay up to date on our latest updates. Links are in the description. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.